Before we begin, I want you to do something unusual. I want you to stop watching and close your eyes. This video is about listening, reflecting, and sitting with ideas. So take a deep breath. Feel your shoulders relax. Let the noise of the day soften. This isn't entertainment. It's not a sermon. It's not even an argument. It's a reflection. And reflections work best when the eyes close and the ears open. I'm going to say something some people wouldn't agree with, and some might even find outrageous. You don't need the Bible to be a good person. For some of you, that statement might feel freeing. For others, it might feel threatening, even offensive. But let's step back. What does it mean to be good? Is it obeying a list of rules? Is it repeating verses word for word? Or is it something deeper, something lived, breathed, and practiced every single day? Because if you look around, you'll see this. There are billions of people across the world who've never touched a Bible. And yet they show kindness, honesty, and courage every day. Morality is not owned by any book. Compassion is not exclusive to any religion. Goodness existed before Scripture, and it will exist long after. And here's the irony. Some of the cruelest actions in history were carried out by people who carried the Bible in their hands. Think about the Crusades. Soldiers marched under the sign of the cross, claiming holy purpose while slaughtering entire communities. Think about colonial powers, using Scripture as a weapon to justify slavery, oppression, and forced conversions. Even today, people quote verses to condemn their neighbors, while ignoring the parts about love, humility, and forgiveness. This isn't to say the Bible has no value, but it is to say holding a Bible, memorizing verses, even preaching from a pulpit, does not guarantee goodness. The book may inspire, but the heart must choose. And that choice is older, deeper, and more universal than any single religion. Let's zoom out for a moment. In Buddhism, there is the teaching of karuna, compassion for all beings. In Islam, one of the most repeated phrases is Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. In African traditions, there is ubuntu, I am because we are. In Confucian philosophy, the golden rule appears centuries before Christianity. Do not impose on others what you would not want for yourself. Do you see the pattern? Different cultures, different languages, different histories, but the same moral heartbeat. Treat others well. Care for your community. Live with humility. If morality were dependent on a single book, none of this would exist. And yet it does. Everywhere humans gather across every continent in every era. History gives us endless examples. Mahatma Gandhi, a Hindu deeply influenced by Jainism, championed nonviolence and civil disobedience, changing the course of a nation. Nelson Mandela, shaped by African values of community and resilience, fought against apartheid with forgiveness rather than vengeance. Confucius, long before Christianity, taught about justice, integrity, and respect. Even ordinary people, like Oskar Schindler, a businessman who saved over 1,000 Jews during the Holocaust. He wasn't quoting Scripture when he chose to act. He was guided by conscience. Goodness is not bound by chapter and verse. It flows out of empathy, courage, and compassion. And that is available to everyone, no matter their faith or lack of faith. Now let's bring it closer to home. Think about your own life. Think about the last time you helped someone. Maybe you opened the door for a stranger or stayed up late talking with a friend who was falling apart. Did you need a verse to tell you to do that, or did you just know? Think about the last time you lied or hurt someone or let pride get the better of you. Did you feel that sting in your chest? That quiet guilt? That wasn't a preacher's voice. That was your conscience. We all have it. That small voice inside that whispers, do better. And it speaks whether or not you've ever cracked open a Bible. Now some will say, without religion, people would descend into chaos. Without God, without Scripture, there is no reason to be moral. But history doesn't support that. Anthropologists have studied tribes with no written scripture, no organized religion, and still, they had codes of fairness, rituals of care, systems of justice. Because morality isn't manufactured by religion. Religion codified what was already there. The Bible didn't invent love. It didn't invent compassion. It simply reflected what humanity already knew deep down. And if tomorrow every Bible vanished, love, compassion, honesty, humility, they'd still remain, because they're not gifts from a book. They're part of being human. But here's the danger. When morality is tied too tightly to religion, it can create hypocrisy. We've all seen it. People quoting, love thy neighbor, while rejecting neighbors who look, love, or believe differently. People shouting about family values, while ignoring injustice that tears families apart. People who condemn sins loudly, while hiding their own quietly. This isn't goodness, it's performance. And performance never lasts. True morality is consistent. It shows up when no one is watching. It shows up when it costs you something. It shows up when there is no applause. So what does it mean to be good? Goodness is feeding someone who's hungry. It's telling the truth when lying would be easier. It's forgiving when you have every right to hold a grudge. It's defending the vulnerable when silence would protect you. Goodness is courage and humility living side by side. You don't need the Bible for that. But if you read it and it inspires you toward love, then good. If you read the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita or the Tao Te Ching and they inspire you toward love, good. But know this, the source is not the book. The source is the heart. The book is just a reminder. So let's slow down again. Keep your eyes closed. Picture tomorrow. You wake up. You go about your day. You pass dozens of people at work, in traffic, in line at the store. Now imagine if you treated each one as though their story mattered. Because it does. The cashier, the coworker, the stranger. Each life just as complex and fragile as yours. What if you saw them not through judgment, but through compassion? What if you chose love instead of suspicion? What if you forgave before you condemned? That's morality. That's goodness. And you don't need a Bible to know it. So the next time someone tells you that without their book you cannot be good, remember this. Goodness is not borrowed. It is not granted by authority. It is not dependent on chapter and verse. Goodness is chosen, every day, in 1,000 small ways. It is written deeper than ink, deeper than doctrine, deeper than tradition. It is written in the human heart. So close your eyes a little longer. Breathe a little deeper. And remember, to be kind, to be honest, to be human is enough.